What are we doing today?
We're asking questions.
You came ready. So who wants to go first?
Caitlin Clark just dropped a short film with Lily called Back to School with Lily. And surprise, surprise, the haters are absolutely losing their minds again. Seriously, heaven forbid Caitlin Clark does literally anything without someone frothing at the mouth, right? But here we are, and honestly, it's hilarious to watch. So the big question is, why does her every single move set people off this badly? What do you think? Does Caitlin just make people mad by simply existing at this point? Alright, let's really break this down, because the reaction to Caitlin Clark's short film is pure unadulterated comedy gold. We're talking about a 2-minute back to school clip with Lily, a fun, super light-hearted ad. Sounds pretty harmless, right? Wrong. The internet's professional complainers immediately turned it into a full-blown crisis. You'd seriously think Caitlin just announced she's running for office the way they completely freaked out.
There we go. First up, Harlow. Do you have a question for me? Okay, let's hear what you got.
When were you my age?
When was I your age?
What were you like at my age?
I was energetic. I loved being outside and playing with my friends. I played basketball. I played soccer. What's your favorite thing about being 5?
Play sports.
Play sports? What sports do you play?
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics. What can you do in gymnastics?
A handstand.
You can do a handstand? Oh my gosh. I wish I could do a handstand. Do you think you could teach me? You could teach me. Okay.
So what's this short film actually about? It's really simple. Caitlin partners with Lily to push their back to school campaign. There's some genuine humor in it, a bit of charm, and Caitlin's just showing kids that yes, you absolutely can be both an athlete and the face of a big brand. That's it. No hidden agenda, no evil scheme. She's just Caitlin cashing in on the fact that she's incredibly popular, which last I checked is exactly what star athletes are supposed to do. But here's the thing. Haters see Caitlin Clark's name attached to literally anything, and suddenly they transform into experts in marketing, ethics, and apparently child psychology. They go on these rants like, why is she in commercials when she hasn't even won a championship? Oh, I don't know, maybe because companies actually like making money. Crazy concept, right?
My mom says I have to eat my vegetables. Do you always eat your vegetables? Be honest.
I actually do. I like vegetables. I'm not even lying. But my mom said the same thing when I was your age. So my favorite vegetable is probably broccoli. You don't like broccoli? Broccoli's good. Come on. I promise they're good. You just have to try them. I'm not even lying.
And honestly, the funniest part, this short film doesn't even pretend to be anything serious. It's campy, it's goofy, and it's clearly aimed at kids and families. Yet somehow these Twitter warriors are typing out 3,000-word essays about how Caitlin Clark is single-handedly ruining basketball culture. These are the exact same people who never had an issue when male athletes cashed in on huge endorsements before they even touched a pro court. But Caitlin, nope. She's apparently breaking some kind of unwritten law. Let's be real about what actually happened. Caitlin Clark went from a rookie sensation last year to an established superstar in year 2, and a lot of people just cannot handle it. They were already salty about the massive coverage she got as a rookie, and now she's stacking sponsorships, commercials, highlight reels, and still filling arenas like absolutely nobody else. And instead of just admitting she's incredibly good for the game, they double down and cry about every single new project she takes on.
As a teen, I'm always tired, so what do you do to keep yourself energized and alert?
Ooh, I was always tired at your age too. I think because you have so much going on, you have school, sports. I think the best things I do to keep myself healthy are getting the right amount of sleep every single night. I think eating properly, but also drinking a lot of water. That's always important to stay hydrated.
You know what absolutely cracks me up? The phrase back to school is literally what triggered some folks. They're like, why is she doing a school-themed ad when she's not in school anymore? I don't know, why did Michael Jordan do ads with the Looney Tunes? Because it's marketing, because it's fun, because not everything has to be a detailed biography, but apparently common sense takes a sudden vacation whenever Caitlin Clark is involved. And let's not forget how these same critics spent months saying Caitlin Clark is just hype. Yet here she is, in her second year in the league, still drawing massive attention, and now companies are betting big on her to push national campaigns. If that's just hype, then sign me up, because I'd like some of that hype in my bank account. The funniest meltdown I saw was someone claiming Caitlin is taking opportunities away from more deserving players. Really? A brand like Lily is gonna call up player number 37 on the stat sheet for a national campaign? Sure, let's see how that goes. No offense, but marketing isn't about deserving, it's about who can move the needle. Caitlin moves it. End of story. And here's the part the haters never ever want to admit. Every single time they rage about her, they are the reason she keeps trending. They think they're dragging her, but what they're actually doing is boosting her. Every single complaint tweet is essentially free advertising. So congratulations, folks. You played yourself.
One thing you wish you knew at my age.
Oh, I took basketball very seriously. I always thought winning and losing was super important, but I think just having fun, like enjoy playing with your friends, just enjoy it as much as you can. What do you want to be doing at my age?
Being a professional basketball player like you.
Professional basketball player? Maybe you can play for the Fever.
Now let's really dig into why this particular short film pushed so many buttons. Part of it is just perfect timing. Caitlin already dominates headlines with her games, her stats, and the unbelievable impact she has on attendance. You add in endorsements from giants like Nike, State Farm, and now Lily, and people just feel like she's everywhere. The same voices who used to complain that women's basketball didn't get enough coverage are now mad that it's Caitlin getting the coverage. Oh, the irony. It's also deeply about control. See, a lot of folks in the WNBA space are used to dictating who gets the spotlight and exactly when. Caitlin completely broke that system wide open. She came in, doubled ticket prices, boosted TV ratings through the roof, and brands lined up without waiting for permission from the old guard. That's precisely why this short film feels so threatening to some. It's just another stark reminder that she doesn't need anyone's approval to succeed. She's already way ahead. But wait, let's flip the script for a second. How about the people who actually loved it? Because yes, those people exist too. Parents were posting all over social media about how refreshing it was to see a current athlete in a fun, school-themed promo. Kids who look up to Caitlin were actually hyped about it. And guess what? That's the entire point. Not everything has to be targeted at bitter adults on Twitter. Sometimes it's just about genuinely connecting with the next generation. But of course, nuance doesn't trend, outrage does, so the haters got even louder, pretending this 2-minute clip was some giant conspiracy. But Caitlin, she didn't even flinch. She's not out here clapping back, she's not defending herself. She's just cashing the check and moving on. And honestly, that alone makes them even angrier. Nothing gets under a critic's skin more than being completely ignored. You know what's wild? How quickly people forget the standard. LeBron James was on magazine covers before he even played an NBA game. Zion Williamson had huge endorsements before he ever stepped on the court. Heck, even NFL rookies sign massive deals before they prove a single thing. But Caitlin, 2 years into her pro career, already the undisputed face of women's basketball, and suddenly it's too soon. Give me a break, and let's not act like she hasn't earned it. Rookie of the Year candidate? Check. Record-breaking college career? Check. Second year, still pulling highlight numbers and leading attendance everywhere she goes? Check. Check. And check. If anyone in the WNBA right now is marketable, it is absolutely her. You don't need a PhD in business to understand why brands want Caitlin's face on their campaigns. So to quickly sum up the first half of this absolute comedy show, Caitlin Clark released a simple short film, The Haters Cried, and the world kept spinning. She's not going anywhere, and deep down, they know it. Which is exactly why they'll be back next week, raging about her next endorsement, her next highlight, or her next win. Let's keep rolling, because this short film wasn't just an ad, it was also a mirror. It showed exactly who can handle Caitlin Clark's success, and who absolutely cannot. Spoiler alert, the list of people who can't handle it is growing by the day. Take the "she's overexposed" argument. That's the go-to line when critics can't think of anything else. They say, "We see her too much. Give others a chance." Okay, but explain why nobody was saying that when Maya Moore was everywhere at her peak. Explain why it wasn't an issue when Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi were the faces of every single promo. The difference is simple. Caitlin Clark isn't the star they chose, but she is the star that brands chose, and that stings.
Another crowd favorite? She's just a marketing product. Oh really? Because I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, marketing follows attention, not the other way around. Caitlyn filled college arenas before the ads ever came out. She smashed TV records before the first big endorsement deal. Lily didn't create her popularity. They're intelligently piggybacking on it. Huge difference. But sure, let's pretend this short film is the reason she sells out stadiums. And let's talk numbers, since the haters love to conveniently ignore them. Caitlin Clark's games, whether in college or her rookie year, consistently pulled ratings that absolutely dwarfed almost everything else in women's sports. You think Lily didn't notice that? You think they picked her at random? No, they picked her because she already delivers number. This short film is just another smart extension of that machine. Now here's where the sarcasm just writes itself. Some make the claim that Caitlyn isn't even the best player in the league. Okay, let's play that game. Since when has being the best been the only metric for endorsement? Was Michael Jordan the best player every single year of his career? Nope. Did that stop him from being the face of Nike, Gatorade, McDonald's, Heinen's, and every other product under the sun? Also, nope. Brands sell stories, not just stat sheets. Caitlyn's story is incredibly compelling. That's why she's front and center, and deep down, her critics know it. Let's also not ignore the fact that Caitlyn is only in her second year, and already she's the headline every single week. Just think about that for a moment. How many athletes in any sport, men or women, have had that kind of pull in year 2? Not many. Most players are still figuring out their role, their place, their impact. Caitlyn skipped that waiting line entirely. She went from college superstar to pro headline to endorsement magnet without missing a beat, and it truly bothers people who thought success should take longer. Too bad, because time doesn't run on their schedule. And can we just laugh for a second about the "she's taking up all the space" claim? Women's basketball has been begging for mainstream attention for decades. Now Caitlin Clark brings it, and suddenly it's a problem. That's like complaining your drought ended because the rain came too fast. Do they want the growth slow and invisible, or do they actually want the game to expand? Because right now, it really seems like they just want attention, as long as it isn't Caitlyn getting it. Here's a gem I saw scrolling through the reactions. She's making women's basketball look unserious with these kinds of commercials. Oh please, men's sports are full of the goofiest ads imaginable. Shaq selling icy hot, Peyton Manning singing in nationwide commercials, Gronk doing anything on camera. Nobody said those ads made the sport unserious. People laughed, they bought the product, and they moved on. But Caitlyn does a 2-minute skit about school shopping, and suddenly the integrity of basketball is at stake. Get real. You know what else is truly funny? The haters accidentally admit why Caitlyn is so marketable every time they complain. They say, why does she get these deals? Why does she get this spotlight? The answer is staring them right in the face, because people care, because she makes people talk, even if it's just to argue, because she creates moments. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be typing essays about her every single week. They can't stand her, but they absolutely cannot ignore her either. That's power. And let's not forget the crucial generational angle here. Caitlyn represents a brand new wave of fans. The kids watching her now are literally the future of the WNBA's audience. That's exactly why Lily partnered with her for a back-to-school short film, not some tax prep ad for retirees. They're aiming at the next decade, not the past decade. Meanwhile, the critics are stuck clinging to yesterday's hierarchy, upset that Caitlyn simply jumped the line. Newsflash, the future doesn't wait for permission slips. Now here's the part that really fries the haters. Caitlyn doesn't just collect these endorsements, she delivers on them. Every single time her name is attached, the product trends. Every time she's featured, the ad goes viral. And every time the outrage flows, the clicks multiply exponentially. Lily isn't dumb. They knew exactly what they were buying attention, and Caitlyn brings it in bucket. We also need to talk about how Caitlyn Clark handles all of this. Because let's be honest, if most of her critics were in her shoes, they'd be melting down daily on Instagram Live. But Caitlyn, she stays calm, does her job, and lets the noise just fade into the background. That's why she wins. That's why brands keep lining up. she doesn't need to clap back because she knows the numbers do it for her. And yes, the short film was cheesy. Of course it was cheesy. It's supposed to be. It's a back-to-school campaign, not an Oscar submission. But the fact that something this lighthearted triggered so many people tells you absolutely everything you need to know. Caitlyn could release a video of herself just tying her shoes, and the comments would still be full of angry paragraphs. That's the level we're at. At the end of the day, this all boils down to one simple thing: jealousy. Jealousy that Caitlyn has what others wanted. Jealousy that she got it so fast. Jealousy that she doesn't have to ask for anyone's approval. And jealousy that despite all the hate, she just keeps smiling and cashing those checks. The short film isn't the real problem, it's just the latest excuse for critics to air out their bitterness. And honestly, I hope she keeps doing it. I hope next month she's in a cereal ad, then a video game promo, then a toothpaste commercial, because every single time, the haters will show up thinking they're exposing her, when really they're just proving her incredible relevant. They can't help themselves, and Caitlyn doesn't even need to lift a finger to keep winning. So yeah, Back to School with Lily was short, simple, and incredibly effective. It connected with kids, it boosted the brand, and it gave Caitlyn yet another win on the business side. Meanwhile, the haters turned it into a week-long meltdown, proving once again that Caitlyn Clark owns prime real estate in their heads, rent-free, and she's absolutely not giving up that lease anytime soon. So there you have it. Caitlyn Clark drops a harmless short film, and haters turn it into the apocalypse. She keeps cashing in, they keep fuming, and honestly, it's the funniest cycle in sports right now. What do you really think? Are the critics helping her more than they're hurting her? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and definitely subscribe for more.